In the previous lecture, we have seen the major abiotic factors like temperature, water, light and soil and their effect on the life of living organisms, and how do different organisms they have adapted to these abiotic factors. Now the next topic is response to the abiotic factors. Abiotic conditions of different habitats, they may vary differently or drastically in time. यानी जितनी भी abiotic conditions हैं, environmental factors हैं या physical conditions हैं, all these conditions they vary time to time. These conditions they continue to vary. Now the question is how organisms in different habitats they adapt or they manage with these stressful conditions. कि एबायोटिक कंडीशंस, फिजिकल कंडीशंस या एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशंस तो कॉन्टिन्यूसली चेंज हो रही हैं. अब ऑर्गेनिज्म इन चेंजिंग कंडीशंस में, इन स्ट्रेसफुल कंडीशंस में कैसे मैनेज करते हैं. लेट अस सी. द फर्स्ट इज दैट the environment is continuously changing, and this condition is continuous. This condition is as such through the millions of years. यानी millions of years से ऐसे चल रहा है कि environment continuously change हो रहा है. तो कई सारी species ने क्या किया है, they have evolved a constant internal environment. During the course of evolution उन्होंने क्या किया है, whatever may be the environmental conditions, whether they are changing or not, many species they have evolved a constant internal environment, and this constant internal environment it permits them, it allows them all the biochemical reactions to take place normally, and all the physiological processes or the functions of the body to take place normally. All the physiological processes and the biochemical reactions they take place normally, whether the environmental conditions remain same or change. Now this condition, this maintenance of constant internal environment, this process is called homeostasis. Homeostasis is whatever may be the environmental conditions, whether they are changing or not, but the tendency to maintain a constant internal environment, this is called homeostasis. So in terms of temperature and osmotic conditions, कि बाहर का टेम्परेचर कुछ भी है या ऑस्मोटिक कंडीशंस whatever for aquatic organisms, whatever is the salinity, जो भी salt content है पानी का, the organisms they are able to maintain their constant internal environment. For example, we know that we have human beings, they have a constant body temperature of 37 degrees Celsius, and a person is able to perform his best at a temperature 25 degree Celsius. So when it is scorching heat outside or freezingly cold, so one can maintain or one can attain this temperature by using AC or by using heater. So here the person's homeostasis is accomplished not through physiological means but by artificial means. Human beings तो maintain कर लेते हैं. By some artificial means they can maintain their body temperature at which they can show their best activity. But how do other organisms they cope up with these situations? Human beings तो अपने external environment में भी कुछ changes कर सकते हैं, लेकिन बाकी organisms इस टेम्परेचर और ऑस्मोटिक कंडीशंस को कैसे अडेप्ट करते हैं, उनको कैसे फेस करते हैं. देयर आर सम मीन्स. द फर्स्ट इज रेगुलेट. Some organisms, they are able to maintain homeostasis by some physiological or behavioral means. Physiological and the behavioral means, they are able to maintain homeostasis. For example, they are able to ensure to have their constant body temperature and constant osmotic regulations. All the birds, example है regulates के, birds, mammals and a very few lower vertebrate and invertebrate species. Lower vertebrate and invertebrate species, they are capable of thermoregulation and osmoregulation. Thermoregulation means they can maintain their constant internal body temperature, and osmoregulation, they are able to maintain their salt content. This is because of this thermoregulation and osmoregulation, the mammals, they are the most successful organisms on this earth. और इसी रीज़न की वजह से थर्मोरेगुलेशन की वो ह्यूमन बींग्स अपना कांस्टेंट बॉडी टेम्परेचर मेंटेन कर सकते हैं. दे आर एबल टू सर्वाइव इन एंटार्क्टिका और इन सहारा डेजर्ट. Now let us see what happens if the temperature of the environment, it increases beyond 37 degrees Celsius. अगर टेम्परेचर जो है वो 37 डिग्री सेल्सियस से ज़्यादा हो जाए समर्स में, आउटसाइड टेम्परेचर, देन द ह्यूमन बींग्स दे स्वेट. The sweating results in evaporation of water from the body and it brings the cooling effect. And in winters, when the temperature is less than 37 degrees Celsius, then the individuals, the organisms, they begin to shiver. Shiver मतलब कांपने लगते हैं. And shivering is a type of exercise which produces heat and raises the body temperature. So shivering is considered as a type of exercise which produces heat and raises the body temperature. And plants, on the other hand, they do not have such mechanisms to maintain their constant internal environment.